What is up, guys? Welcome to my first impressions of the Sony 12-24 G lens. It's an ultra wide and it is a lot of fun. We're going to go over minimum focus distances, show you guys just what it looks like when it records video, and of course do a flip test over an open window. Going to show you some shots comparing lens corrections versus no lens corrections to give you guys an idea as to how you can make this lens perform best for you. We're going to show you some shots where we take a wide angle one like this at 12mm and zoom all the way in to give you guys an idea as to the sharpness as to this lens.
Hello?
Nearly double the amount. I'm gonna,
Hello.
like normal, get in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, you're sleeping?
And we're just going to give you an overall review and first impressions of this ultra wide by Sony. I hope you enjoy. Here we go. What's up, guys? Jason Lanier here. I am here in Zagreb, Croatia. Check out the view. Pretty amazing, right? I'm going to do a review for you guys today on this lens. The Sony 12-24 ultra wide. This came in the mail. The Sony store delivered it. And so I'm going to do a review for you guys and hopefully you like it. Now, in order for me to properly flip this lens, I have to switch hands because I'm right-hand dominant, so clearly when I flip, it's got to be right-handed, and I'm holding this. I'm going to do this whole thing with just my phone. So now I'm flipping, and I got to try to do it. I got to try to get all this, the frame, the lighting, everything. This is a beautiful, beautiful place, and we've wanted to come to Croatia for a while. I brought the wife here, so she's super excited, and we're going to share it with you.
That sounds bright.
It is super bright. We're here in front of this beautiful cathedral that's very close to where we're staying. I'll show it to you guys. Hope you enjoyed that view. And so we're super close. I'm going to show you just how close I can get with the 12-24. It's pretty nuts. It's going to be a little distorted, of course, but it's going to give you guys an idea as to how close you can get with the 12mm ultra wide. I've shot with the Canon 11mm ultra wide, and now I'm trying out the Sony, so we'll see how it goes. So one pro tip is if you want to get a shot that the people are standing there, just stand there. Most of the time they'll just move. Guys, that of course is distorted in the bottom of the frame, but what it gives you guys is an idea as to just how close this lens can get you. So if something's not super tall and you need to get super close, that's what an ultra wide is for. Let's go inside the church. So they made this sign just for us. Looks like people from the 1950s with the wardrobe. Are you appropriately dressed?
Yes, but it says no muscles.
Guess I'm out. Here we go inside. Ooh, this is beautiful. Take a look at this, guys. In a location like this, you gotta be quiet. And you gotta shoot with a lot of available light. And so because of that, you know, the 12-24 isn't the fastest lens, it's f4. But a lot of ultra wides are going to be like that. The Nikon 14-24 is 2.8, but it doesn't go to 12. So yeah, just pick your poison. Ideally, you'd want to be higher for a lot of these shots, so you don't have to tilt the lens up. Tilt anytime you tilt an ultra wide, like you want to be level. When you tilt is when you get distortion. But that's going to happen on any lens. But I'm anxious to see these shots. Shot a lot of them at higher ISOs. I hope you like them. So ideally, we'd want to be like standing up where that statue is right there. That's where I'd want to be to get level with these and get some beautiful shots. But like if I could get up there where the organ is, those shots would be amazing, absolutely amazing. But I don't think I have an in with these folks. So we're gonna do some more shooting and share it with you, right? She doesn't talk much. That's not true. So this first shot is just shooting straight up to try and get as much as I could in. This shot with this little dude in the middle of the aisle was cool, but then when I applied lens corrections, you'll see how it straightened everything out. And we'll touch more on that later as well. This kind of shows the technique I'm using to hold it up as high as I can to level off the lines and make it as straight as possible to try and get a shot like that. One other note is you guys really do want to plan something like this and come in here where there's a lot of natural light. So this is a great time to shoot this at 10, 11, 12 o'clock when the sun's beaming in through the stained glass. It's a beautiful time to shoot this. So doing this, at the wrong time can mean there won't be a lot of light. So come at the right time, get some great light. When you're in a place like that and you're shooting with an ultra wide, anytime you tilt that lens, it's going to cause distortion. You got to try and avoid that when possible. So that's why, and a lot of times when you guys are watching me do videos and stuff, whenever I have that camera above my head, I'm trying to level it out as much as I can is what I'm doing. So thanks to my assistant here. She's wonderful, isn't she?
I'm trying to dance and you won't put on me.
You want to dance? Go ahead, dance.
Not now.
And now you're kissing the lens.
The
So, there. Dance now.
It's my dorky dance. That's what I do to embarrass my children.
It works. Now we're gonna go find some more stuff to shoot. Tour bus time. So I just took some shots of that church, and what I did is I took them took some at 24 millimeters and some at 12, just so you guys can see the difference between the two. Being up here on a double-decker bus is super awesome because it enables me to get a better vantage point. And earlier, the comment I was making on the side of the cathedral was that if I could get higher up, it would alleviate some of the distortion, and you're going to see that in these shots because I'm able to be more square with the center of the building, like right here, versus on the ground level. If you're on the ground level and you're constantly tilting the lens up, it's going to cause even more distortion. So the less you point it up, the less distortion you're going to get. In the shots, I'm also going to try to do some where I do some lens corrections in Lightroom with the lens profiles. I'll show you guys the difference. So if you're in a situation like this with an ultra wide, leave a lot of space on the left and the right, top and bottom. So when it corrects and it brings those lines into configuration, it will keep the main subject of your image still inside of the frame, which is what you'll see with the shots that I do. So now we're on to bigger and better things, right? So guys, this shot here is at 24 millimeters. You see it's pretty straight on because there's no tilting up required. Here's a 12, so it's going to have a lot more of that distortion on the sides, and when you apply the lens corrections, you lose some of those sides, but you straighten out the image. Now I'm going to go over some sharpness with you guys. So let's take a look at this shot. This is the shot that came out that we just showed you. And now we're going to take you down to the people on the bottom of the square there. It's pretty sharp. Looks really good. Now we're going to take you to the top of the image, and you can see just how sharp it is. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Now we're to the left on that red roof. Again, pretty darn sharp. And now we go over to the right, the far right onto those flags, and it's pretty sharp. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Keep in mind that's zooming way into the shots, and this is with the A9, so it's only at 24 megapixels. It's not even the A7R2. So we just finished up that tour, which was pretty awesome, and now we're off to find some more cool stuff. So the wife has gone in for a little bit of relaxation inside of the place we're staying, and so I'm going to wrap up this video with you guys, show you a few more things. This is just my impressions on this lens. As many of you guys know, before this lens was available, I got the Canon 11-24, and I've been using it with an adapter, and it works great. And so this was sent to me, and I've been able to take a look at it, and I'm very excited to see just how it stacks up and what it does. This is not my full-on review of this lens. This is just my impressions on it. Give you guys some feel and some images so you guys can see just how it performs. Okay, now I'm gonna test to see if it focuses this close. It's about 8 inches from the camera. Put it back into autofocus. Yep, found focus right away. manual focus it out again. Okay. Back into autofocus. Yep. That's super close. That's like 6 inches away. Alrighty y'all, here we go. Testing the video functionality of this lens. It's a 12 millimeters. It's 24. Isn't this a cool setting? It's really cool, right? I'm in this like crazy alleyway here in Croatia, in Zagreb. I'm on my knees because I could only find, I'll take a picture of it and show you guys the setup. Selfie time. This is my second phone that people close to me call like my pimp phone or my hookup phone. Here's my regular phone, but this is a phone I bought for my assistants and stuff to use, and I've been using it more and more to film as we're going, so capture cool stuff like this. And I'm using this little Rotopod, this little portable monopod looking thing that you can fit your phone onto that Rotolite's given me, and they're going to be selling pretty soon. They're pretty cool, easy to set up and super fun. At any rate guys, the 12 to 24 is a pretty cool lens. I actually really like it. You know, again, I mentioned it earlier, I've used and I own, and I spent $3,000 of my own money on the Canon 11 to 24. And when this guy popped open at my door, I'm like, you know what, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. I do love native lenses. It's significantly smaller and lighter than the Canon, which is nice. Plus there's no adapter, which is a big difference. The other big thing is the fact that I'm going to get better autofocus performance with this than the Canon, but the Canon is pretty good. I wasn't BSing you guys. It works really well with the A9 and A7R2. In regards to the lens itself, there's no has a lock button right here, which is nice to focus lock, or you can set that to something else if you wanted to. Has an autofocus manual focus button right here. Focus ring is nice, good tension on it. It's about the right amount. And then the adjusting the focal length here from 12 to 24 is also very nice and tight as well. The lens seems to be built very well. It's not a G Master lens. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this comes in at around $1,600–1,700 if I'm not mistaken. I think a lot of us, myself included, are interested to see if the Canon, which is an awesome lens, is worth nearly double the amount. Hello. Oh, you're sleeping? So somebody's sleeping, so I gotta move. Okay, so I gotta find a new location and finish this up. I always find myself in the most interesting places. There's the guy right there in the window. Can't make this stuff up. So let's find another place for me to wrap up this video. It's a cool alleyway though. I mean, I'd love to do a shoot in this place. This is super freaking cool. So here's a restaurant. I'll set this on the table and probably get thrown out of the restaurant. Let's see here. Is there anybody here that's gonna get their little knickers in a twist? Yeah, we'll just go for it. It's just a much more compact version of the Canon. Canon certainly has some more options, but hello. Sometimes I feel like, well, I am in another country. I think it's a really nice lens, just to be honest with you guys. I think it's a very nice lens. Unless I had a very specific purpose where I needed the Canon lens, then I would I would probably go with this one, only because of price. I'm talking about price right now, guys. This is a great value. I think the difference between a 16 millimeter, because a lot of people ask me that, like most of us shoot with a lot of 16 to 35s. The difference between a 16 millimeter and a 12 millimeter is a quantum leap in just what it allows into the frame. The difference between a 12 and 11 millimeter, not nearly as much. So do you need that extra 1 millimeter? That's a question you have to answer. I wouldn't own the Canon lens if this lens had been available to me, but it wasn't. So that's why I own the Canon. Do I regret buying the Canon? No, it's a phenomenal lens, and it was shown to me by one of my buddies, Donald, aka Bubbles, up in Canada, and it's a fantastic lens, and it has served me very well. But all things being equal, I would have purchased this only because it's so much cheaper and it's a native Sony lens. So it does look very sharp, it performs very well, there's no noise on the autofocus. It's just a plug and play type of lens. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but it's just a plug and play type of lens that works well. It works really well. It is much smaller. It does have the petals, the permanent petal shape on for the lens hood. The Canon is much bigger. We call it the Eye of Sauron. The Canon is much bigger, and so as a result of it being much bigger, I know that even when I tried to use the A9, I went down to Miami and tried to use the 11 to 24 in underwater housings. The front of the lens, the front element and the petal hood was so big we couldn't get it into any underwater housings. This I could very much anticipate being able to fit. So it's stuff like that. I always prefer to go native glass when I can, when it's available to me. The market, the amount of lenses that are not available for native on Sony at this point are so few that we don't have to adapt nearly as much glass as I had to like 3.5 years ago when I first migrated over to Sony. When I did that, we were adapting so much because there just wasn't the availability of lenses. Now there is, and so for a lot of us, native glass is now readily available for us to get if and when we need to get it. So until next time, guys, keep shooting, never give up on your dreams, find our gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. You guys still here? Hello? Talking to you. Hey guys, if you want to learn online with me, go to patreon.com/JasonLanierPhotography, and you will be able to continue this craziness online from anywhere on planet Earth with me. If you want to join me live, go to JasonLanier.com/workshops, and you'll get to see me in my full glory live and in person, guys. I think there's a smudge on there. Yeah, I got it. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.